The old rinks were kind of cool because the people were right on top of you. The stands went straight up. And if you ever walked in the orange section of the old Odd, I mean, you took your life into your hands. And the old buildings like the Boston Garden, the Olympia, it just seemed like people were right on top, more into the game. They can't build them like that anymore, so people are further away, but it did make for exciting games.
And when they raised the roof, I believe that was the second year, first or second year, they put in those orange seats. And they got a bunch of people up there, boy, that were just rabid fans. And it just turned everything right to the Buffalo Sabres. They had the benefit of the doubt because of their building. Because, you know, teams would come in and you'd look and it's like those fans were right over you. I mean, they weren't stretched 20 yards back from the ice. They were straight up in the air, and it was good.
I remember coming in here, you know, early on when I was with the Detroit Red Wings, and I remember the fans. It felt like they were just falling on you. You know, the arena, the Odd was an incredible place to play a game. First of all, let alone be the adversary in the rink. There was a lot of hate against the opponents, and you could tell there was a lot of passion for the home team. And it was a phenomenal feeling to walk in here. It was one of the nicest rinks to really play a game because the energy level was so high.
They made you feel so welcome in that building. It was so much fun to play a home game here in Buffalo. I mean, it just, you know, and if it was Toronto or it was Montreal, it was Boston, it was a bigger deal, but it just didn't matter. They loved their hockey, and for us, you know, we were a little bit more crash and bang than some of the guys. You know, you take somebody into the boards there, and you know, it sounded like they just barely made it because it was so much racket.
It really was a lot about the noise. It was, you know, if you hit the boards in the left corner, the glass shook in the far right corner. It was just like a ripple effect, and you know, you almost felt like you killed the guy, and it was like a springboard effect. And really, if, you know, for today's game, we've, you know, tried to get back. Even the boards now are, you know, they're trying to put some flex in them because they got too hard. But the fans being right on top, you knew where certain people sat. You know, the same fan. You were so close to them. You know, the oranges, how they hung over, and they were right on top of you. But it really was, there was some great character.
The Odd was our home, pretty much. You know, we had morning stretches. You'd lay on the ice and look up at the ceiling, and you'd walk the back alleys with the rats, and you would, you know, we spent a lot of time there, a lot of time. Parking lot, underneath, Arthur, the security guard. Like I mentioned earlier, that was really our growing up period into men. You know, we came there as teenagers, and we left there as
I'll tell you one thing,
men,
I didn't really realize how bad the visiting team was.
The dressing room?
Their room, until we got traded away and had to come back into the building. Went, oh my, no wonder nobody wanted to come here. The visiting room was awful.
And our stick room ended right at the end of the visiting room, so Scotty would always sneak back there. It'd be 10 minutes before the game, and no one knew where Scotty was, and he was back behind in Ripper's room, back listening to their coach have their pregame speech. Which, when you play on another team and come back, you can tell your coach that someone's in there listening to you. So just kind of keep it down.
But it was it was a special place for not only us, for my family. You know, I can remember skating a warm up, and my dad would come down and warm up, give me the signal that he was in the building. You know, that he had made it down, and you know, going up to the Odd Club after with my family, and.
It was more personal. You were in contact with the fans. Now the players park in their own lot. Right. Everyone's underneath. The people can't get down and see you. We would come out the dressing room, and your friends and family and kids and, you know, people waiting for you. You had to walk right through 300-400 people to get out, and you'd sign all the way out. That part of the game, I think, is missing. I think the contact with the fans, and at the Odd, you were right there. It felt like it was so steep with the oranges there right on top of you, so it was a great atmosphere to play in as well. For us and our skating abilities, it was a great rink to have as our home rink because we didn't have to skate too far.
Thank God, yeah, it was small, yeah.
For me, again, because it was a little bit smaller, it was a little bit easier to play in that building in our end, and I love playing in the Odd.
You know, I really miss the character of the old rinks, and the Buffalo Auditorium was probably one of the best. The year before my rookie year, I got an opportunity to play in the Boston Garden. I got an opportunity to play in the Montreal Forum for a few years. But to play that season here in the Buffalo Odd was special because it's one of those rinks where the fans still get a chance to interact with the players. You feel the presence of the crowd, your fans. A lot of the new rinks, you don't quite have that character anymore. So for me to get to experience that first year in the Odd was special. And a little note too is that to score the last goal in the Odd too, for me was a special moment.